Hi again. So just continuing on the last video, it got cut short there. We were talking about the fabrics of our society, our communities, the family unit, ourselves as individuals, this fabric. And I left off in the last video saying that it's not that we don't need some sort of centralized medium, especially with a technology that allows us communication amongst all communities around the world globally. If we could nail that down and really create a clear avenue for holistic communication and communication that is for our greater wealth and prosperity. As Jordan Peterson pointed out, prosperity is the only thing that works. If you truly want a community that is going to function well in wellness and in good health, then prosperity is all that works. And we need to accomplish that together for each one of us. So basic needs is huge. So it's not that we don't need that centralized medium. It's that that medium currently right now isn't a medium. It's structured for control and power. And it asks for way too much. And getting back to the communities around me that provide each other with abundance and prosperity in life in a good way, the current fabrics do not provide all with an equality. And so that is the pressure that everyone is complaining about and feeling or in denial about. It's the fabrics, as a metaphor, are lobbying, our profits, our bank accounts. It's these fabrics that create that lack of equality because of how we choose to conduct them. So that's something that all on this beautiful new moon, that is something that all of us can really consider and really take a look at. So, in doing so, I want to talk about where there's a lack of contribution to that abundance that we experience and feel love within. You know, and maybe you're so caught up in bureaucracy in your job and career that you don't ever feel that. Maybe you're lacking love within your heart or for creation, you know, the stars and sun, the solar system, or for your fellow man or the animals around you or the trees. Maybe you're lacking that, and I so hope that light is lit within your being, that you may find some of that in your lifetime, if that's the case. You deserve it. So, where is there a lack? You will find that there's lots of entities, lots of organizations that really believe in their structural role in those fabrics. Yet, if they really look at their contribution to what we experience as wellness or joy, or what provides that for us, they really don't contribute much. And like I said in the last video that just got cut off, it's going to be highly controversial. It's something that a lot of people are going to be upset about probably, and that's fine. If you're feeling that way, if you're getting angry and feeling that way, there's a source, there's a root to that, and there's a reason. And I would highly encourage you to look into nonviolent communication, look into spiritual well-being, look into spiritual understanding, look into all sorts of community events, get involved with agriculture, growing food. Start to really branch out, and this will enrich your life and help you grow. It'll help you grow stronger physically, mentally, and it will help you grow stronger spiritually. So get involved and be open to learning more about yourself. Because I'm talking about the fabrics. We are currently using synthetic fabric as a metaphor, and we would like to be using silk. So the fabrics of our creation, we're really using something that's artificial, and we're really into those synthetic fabrics, and that's the current world today, and we would like to be creating silk and working with a genuine fabric of creation. So in order to do that, we have to discover what the flaws are with our current fabrics and why. So these are the metaphors. And so if you are working with one of these entities and organizations, I want to be clear, I'm not criticizing any one human being. I'm not criticizing any of us or our society, not having a lack of gratitude or appreciation for any of it. Fully embodied, fully aware, in love, and nothing can touch that. And this is coming from the greatest love of my being and creation for all of us. All of us. And we need to look at those fabrics and what they mean to us, and what I mentioned at the beginning, what truly matters, what brings us that joy and love in our experience of creation and well-being within ourselves and amongst our family units, amongst our small communities and our social society and global world. We need to really look at the fabrics we create, the social fabrics, the economic fabrics that we create. So, speaking of that, I bring up entities like banking entities, government entities, and these are the entities that I'm most disappointed in. I'm not as much disappointed in law enforcement and laws. I actually have a great respect for that, even though it's abused a lot by human beings that are going through vast transformations and spiritual growth, that are needing to learn the lessons they need to learn in order to become more useful and more and contribute more. So I, again, love for all people, but it seems to me that it's factual. What is a fact? A fact is something that you can perform the same actions thousands of times and get the same result. And if that doesn't speak to our current social systems and societies, then I don't know what does, because certainly there's not a lot of facts in science, if we wanted to make another video and go into that topic, but there is a lot of facts in how we live together and what type of energy it creates and what type of communities it creates and what type of well-being it creates. So These are really big issues that I believe we have the capacity to change, and we need to look at ourselves as individuals and the entities that we support and ask ourselves, what is the basis of this fabric and how is it contributing? So the main issue I have with these entities is that they're greedy. They're just outright plain and greedy. And the pressures that all of us feel that provide our wonderful lives together is direct evidence of that. You know, what does a mortgage have to do with the structure, with a structural home, with a foundation for human life upon earth? Once that structure is built, if you really want to get simple, once that structure is built, it's built. That's it. It's built. It's now there. It now can provide abundance. It now can provide shelter. It now can provide a place to create more well-being from. So this is just one example of our fabric. So why are the people that now are upholding that structure pressured by other people that have nothing to do with that structure, and a very unnecessary pressure and intrusive pressure and controlling pressure have to do with the seasonal cycles and annual outcomes of that household? And the answer is none. But yet this entity comes in and wants to put a financial pressure that is unrealistic and unpractical upon that household. And then, in turn, in an arrogance, in a very intense arrogance, think to themselves that this type of behavior, this type of thinking and perspective, this type of state is necessary and contributing. And the fact is that it's not contributing at all. So, you know, lobbyists and bankers and again, I'm not attacking any individual, and if you're part of one of those associations and getting mad, you know, I don't mean to sound cold, but I don't care. I care about you, and I care about your spiritual well-being and your basic needs, but I don't really care about that level of arrogance and anger and hatred and fear that comes up within those organizations and the people that run them when they get constructive feedback. So that's a lot of where this video is coming from today, from my heart, is just seeing all the people I love, all the people I live with in many different communities and different countries, and their efforts and their love, and then that pressure they feel, again, is that not real? And the fact is that they give a lot more, they create a lot more, and the people that are the entities that are putting the pressure on the people that create a lot more and give a lot more are really not giving anything on a daily basis. They're taking. They take from those communities. They receive their abundance from those communities. And then somehow perceive that they're the glue that makes it all work and holds it together. But that's not the actual case. They're the ones that are creating the suffering and the pain and the disconnect and the disharmony. I'll leave that one for you to figure out if you don't believe me. And it doesn't matter if you ever agree with me. Life is eternal, and you're here to learn your own lessons, and I'm learning mine. And I know how I feel about that. So, you know, get practical. What do you give? What do you give to the community if you're working for those entities? You know, there's war times going on, and we have currency, and people trade currency all around the world, and they profit from the oil prices going up. They profit from destruction. They profit from pain. They profit from death. And when they call you and want you to invest in the trades and everything, they say, well, it's happening. Why shouldn't we make money off of it? And again, I'm not criticizing the human being. I can sympathize with them. They are worried about their own well-being. They're worried about their own families. So I can sympathize. But is that helping? Is sitting at a desk and making trades and profiting from it and putting it in your bank account and buying more for yourself and then giving more back to the same entities really helping? Is it really helping? Do you actually believe that is necessary for population? It's not the case. It's not the case. Those who are lying about, vaccines and trying to promote toxic injections and creating disharmony in people's bodies and creating death and all sorts of dysfunctions, is this helping? Now, a lot of that is awareness, and so one individual might be partaking in it and have no awareness of it and think that, that's just the way it is. They really believe in disease, and there's not actually much disease out there, to tell you the truth. There is sickness and illness, and that's more created by how we treat each other and how we lack to provide for one another. And again, these are social fabrics, social structures with standards that I mentioned in the last video. So where do those standards come from? What type of thinking? What type of state of being? Notice your environments. And if you're in these environments, you have a spiritual duty. You're not there to survive from it and to allow it to thrive. You're there to change it. You're there to bring this type of awareness that's growing within you to help it provide equality. It's really a service, not a career. The amount of issues, when I give these types of speeches, these lectures, the amount of issues that come up for me is overwhelming. The head starts to spin, and I just have to hold a genuine connection within myself to creation and try to listen to the conception and allow it to flow, because there's so many questions that come up. But there's also answers for all of them. So please write comments. I will answer. I will do another video on your comments and provide perspectives that I believe have social solutions for. We've been, our history is very interesting, and we've been living on this planet a long time, and the word truth is really interesting. But there is a truth. There's a truth to this cosmos. There's a truth to this planet. I'll give an example. Elon Musk, I think that, if what you're trying to do with the quantum world and in trades and financial means, if it's truly genuine, if you're truly a genuine human being that wants to create more equality and abundance, wonderful. And I love you as a brother, but I'll criticize you in one of your speeches. You said that money makes the world go round. And this is not true at all, Elon. It's not true at all. We live in a galaxy. We live in the Milky Way galaxy, and there's a center of the galaxy. And all the stars spin around the center of the galaxy. And all the planets spin around the stars, and all the moons spin around the planets. So it's magnetism, it's cosmic forces, great, powerful cosmic forces of energy that create the torque and the spin and the movement and the density that allows the density to collect and create stars and planets and moons and And this is all nature. So that's what makes the world go around. It's certainly not money. So money is something that is a product of our social networks in an attempt to create equality and a better well-being for a society and a humanity. And so it has to be treated that way. We have to have spiritual reverence and respect and understanding for life, for soul, spirit, for a cosmos, for everything living, for a sacred hoop of life. And once the individual obtains that, then he can contribute with a greater sense of understanding, bringing a greater well-being to the whole. And I think the quantum computer idea is great. The capacity for our computers to grow and create a better equality, if that's truly ever in the intentions behind those who are producing and bringing them into our collective for service, then I think that's great. But I also wish to be contacted if you have any curiosities and would like to consider some of my ideas that these computer systems and their capacities could have a much greater purpose for our equality and our humanity and future than what they are currently being geared for. But I also understand that we are all in a world amongst each other, and it's a great process that we all need to have respect for each other within, and that things take time. So I'm very patient. Just checking that the video is still working. So yes, that's what we're talking about again, is the fabrics of creation. This is Bodhisattva YouTube, where we focus collectively, consistently throughout our lives, giving our lives to a sacred hoop of life, future generations, and well-being, health and well-being. We truly want each other to live well and healthy and in abundance, and all life to share that same wellness in a sacred hoop upon our planet forever. So that's where this is coming from. What are our fabrics? Why do you not feel pressure wherever you're living in the world, whatever society you're in, whatever community you're in? Do you not feel financial pressure? Do you not feel negative pressures? I'm questioning. I'm not sure. I'm not every place in the world. So these are questions for you. And what is that? Why can you live every day of your life with so much devotion and so much creativity and so much ability to give and love, and then feel like you have lack or feel like you don't have enough? And this is what I pick up on coming into the communities and seeing all the beautiful people who care for me, that I care for, and that we work together with throughout the seasons annually. And it's like, wow, why is that pressure there? And unpopulated places that have so much land to grow on and so much land to build on, you can't fathom how much room there is. And then you get people talking about overpopulation. They just downward negative spirals, illusions. People who don't want to contribute, they just want to keep taking. They want to take what their position gives to them. They want to shut themselves off and live in their own peace and neglect to be present for the world and everyone else and what's happening as a collective. And then just take and figure out how they can take more and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And is that contributing? So I see lots of people contributing. And I love everyone. I even see people who are involved with the organizations that I am asking to consider how they participate and don't believe that they give enough. I care for you too. And that's why I'm making this video. I care for all of us. I care for our future. I care for how we live together. I care for the future, how we live together, what future that creates. And so what are those fabrics, and why are the ones that do all the work? I understand the pressures of life and death and the pressures of aging, but why is there an artificial pressure? Why is a household that provides so much to the community and others feeling lack, or feeling scared, or feeling like they won't be taken care of by the community around them? Why do those feelings arise? Why? Well, it's to do with our social fabrics. It's to do with how we live together. It's to do with culture. It's to do with spiritualism. And if we're doing so well, like many of these people who give very little and live very elaborate lifestyles will tell you, we're doing well, this is great, I have everything I need, what's wrong with you? Even if they're unhappy and just putting this on the surface. Why is that? Why is it that people can sit in an office and play on a computer all day and, have everything they need and more, some people, too much, and then other people who do 10 times as much work are involved with 40 times as many people and giving every day of their lives feel lack? Well, there's answers to all of that. It's our fabrics. It's how we choose to operate as a society. So I won't go on any longer. I hope that you will like and share and perhaps comment in a positive and productive way in conversations, to ask questions or give perspectives or ideas for change that can actually move us, as we focus together in that direction, move us towards healthier fabrics, healthier ways of being together, healthier ways of living upon a planet together. So that's my prayer for today on this new moon, that we will figure that out. And we will structure a much stronger social network that is much more relaxed and much more peaceful, that creates a far greater abundance, that respects nature and all its creatures and their cycles, and allows them to flourish in their abundance as well, which provides us with more abundance. And that we will find our way together. And I'm here to continually help us find that way in doing the best I can as a humble human being, letting you know my experiences, how I see things, my perspectives. I'm always here. Planetary Pilates Yoga @gmail.com, or website www.planetarykundalinyoga.com. You can reach me. We can do podcasts, interviews, public events, public speaking. I mentioned in the last video I'm open for public debates, and we can move forward in a positive direction together that will create change that allows our social networks to flourish in prosperity as opposed to lack. Thank you. Amama Uanoa. That means the prayer has lifted and now it's free of its own will. Like all of us. Lots of love. Stay light, stay loving, and stay beautiful.